After my husband's childhood sweetheart had a miscarriage, everyone revolves around her. After my husband's childhood sweetheart had a miscarriage, everyone revolved around her, including my husband. At a gathering, I couldn't help but retch, and everyone's expression instantly became awkward. James pulled me to a corner, his tone hesitant. Lucy, you're not pregnant, are you? The meaning in his eyes was clear. He felt this child came at the wrong time. If you really are pregnant, it's better to quietly get rid of it. Otherwise, if Ellie finds out, she'll be upset. I didn't argue, just smiled and nodded. Okay, I'll make an appointment for the surgery. I had already been invited to join a project in Australia. This child indeed shouldn't stay. Besides, I didn't want this husband with weak sperm anymore. James was stunned for a moment seeing me agree so readily. Then he said somewhat awkwardly, I know you always want to be with me. How about this? I'll take you out to relax after a while. Is that okay? Don't be unreasonable. We have to consider Ellie's feelings. Ellie was James' childhood friend's wife and also my biological sister. I lowered my head, touching the simple silver ring on my finger. I wasn't liked by my parents and my biological family. Even if I made a big fuss about this, my parents would only scold me for being selfish. Seeing me deep in thought with my eyes downcast, he assumed I was throwing a tantrum, and then said, seemingly to comfort me, you grew up doing heavy work, your body is strong. Even if you abort this child, it will be easy to conceive another one. It's getting late. I want to go back. James frowned, about to say something, when a friend approached with a wine glass. James, what's wrong with my sister-in-law? Is she pregnant? As soon as the words fell, James' childhood friend, Liam, and his wife, Ellie, also looked over. Hearing the word pregnant, Ellie's eyes reddened, and her face looked sorrowful. James immediately spoke up. No, she just has an upset stomach. We're getting ready to go back. Sitting in the car, I opened my phone to check the customs and lifestyle in Australia. I had never been abroad. Although my English was good, I still needed to prepare early. James glanced at my phone out of the corner of his eye, hugged me, and chuckled lightly. What are you looking at this for? Want to travel to Australia? I've been too busy lately, and Ellie's mood isn't good. You should stay home quietly. When I'm free, I'll take you there. I responded vaguely. Nothing, just looking. I was wondering if I should practice cooking. After all, Australian food might not suit my stomach. Seeing me ignore him, James leaned over again and said, after you abort the child, I'll hire a nutritionist to help you recover. But don't get carried away. Ellie lost her child and is in a bad mood. Don't show off in front of her. Even though my heart had long grown cold, the smile on my lips still stiffened for a moment. James, you want me to abort this child? What if I can't conceive again in the future? Will you regret it? James chuckled. Your body is very healthy. How could you not be able to have children? You're different from Ellie. I nodded. I got lost back then, was sent to an orphanage, and adopted by foster parents. Growing up working while studying, and supporting my younger brother, I endured countless hardships. How could I not withstand an abortion surgery? However, you said this yourself. If we can't have children in the future, don't regret it. James' fair, slender fingers gently stroked my face. If it weren't for your face being 70 similar to Ellie's, the Chu family probably wouldn't have found you. Being in your foster parents' social class, how could you marry into my family and live such a wealthy life now? He gazed affectionately at my face, then leaned in to kiss my lips. I suddenly felt nauseous and quickly pushed him away. Ugh. When I woke up the next day, James had already left for work. I opened my phone, and James' message appeared on the screen, along with a screenshot of an appointment for an abortion at the hospital. The time was this afternoon. Go get the abortion done as soon as possible, then rest well. The nutritionist will arrive tonight. I have to go on a business trip for about a week. When I come back, I'll keep you company. Okay. He really couldn't wait. What a lapdog. Opening my social media feed, it was full of photos from last night's gathering. Ellie's face was slightly pale, but her smile was bright, surrounded by people like stars around the moon. My husband stood aside, gazing at her affectionately. I only felt disgusted now. The flight to Australia was the night after tomorrow. I started busy packing and preparing the divorce agreement. Actually, there wasn't much to pack. I was alone to begin with. My biological parents, claiming they helped me deal with my blood-sucking foster family, didn't prepare any dowry for me. Packing a few clothes and daily necessities was about it. Then I went to the hospital alone for the surgery. Unexpectedly, I ran into Ellie Heaton. Her eyes were full of confusion. Lucy, why are you here? I ignored her, holding the checkup sheet in my hand and walking around her. Unexpectedly, She grabbed my wrist and snatched the checkup sheet from my hand. What? You're pregnant? Ellie's expression was complicated for a moment, and after a while, she asked with concern. Being pregnant is a good thing, right? Why abort? Her voice wasn't quiet, attracting the gaze of people around us. With examining and maliciously speculative gazes falling on me, my expression remained unchanged, and I answered her at the same volume. Why else? Like you, the child is deformed. The probability of deformity in children of patients with weak sperm is quite high. Ellie's face turned pale, remembering the child she lost. Her reason to the public was also that the child was deformed. She knew the real reason, and I happened to know it too. I snatched the checkup sheet and left. The hospital room, filled with the smell of disinfectant, was very quiet. I lay on the cold examination bed, and the doctor had already put on gloves. Are you sure you don't want this child? I'm sure. Tears silently slid down from the corners of my eyes. I felt the little life in my abdomen slipping away bit by bit, constantly warning myself in my heart. Stopping the loss in time is the right thing to do. This child was actually what I had longed for day and night. At that time, I had already discovered James' dirty secret of secretly loving Ellie, and I could also see Ellie's intentional or unintentional flirting with James. After arguing with James a few times, I finally saw through the hypocrisy and selfishness under this man's affectionate appearance. Knowing clearly that James wasn't a good match, I couldn't let go of the stable life I had fought for. I had finally escaped the hellhole of my foster parents' home and finally had my own career and social circle. Working in James' family company for 2 years, I negotiated several big projects. The company was flourishing, and everyone stopped calling me Mrs. James, but Director Chu instead. After the divorce, I would be alone again. My foster parents might come back to suck my blood, and James, that scumbag, would also cause trouble for me, letting me return to the situation of being isolated and helpless. I was afraid I would lose heart and never have the motivation to live on. People live just to fight for that breath. So, I decided to have a child who would inherit the Fu family. This way, I could safely ruin James. No one would suspect what a weak mother with a cheating husband would do. By then, the Fu family would be mine. I started to take care of my body, making soup for James every day, forbidding him from smoking and drinking. I went for a checkup, and I was very healthy, suitable for pregnancy, but after trying hard for half a year, there was still no result. Then James had a problem. I dragged him for a checkup. He was very impatient, wanting to celebrate Ellie's pregnancy, but couldn't beat me. Sure enough, he had weak sperm, and coincidentally, Ellie said some trash talk about me working in the Fu family company to compete with her. It made me so angry I slapped her twice. James used this as an excuse to stop me from going to the Fu family company. What a ridiculous person. I completely gave up. Such a person didn't deserve to be the father of my child. Who would have thought that after I decided to leave, my body started to show symptoms of vomiting. Besides, Sarah sent me a message inviting me to join the Lin family company and participate in a development project in Australia. This child really didn't come at the right time. I asked the doctor to collect some embryonic tissue for storage. These were still useful to me. Dragging my weak body back into the house, it was quiet inside, no lights on, and no so-called nutritionist came out. James called, starting with blame and questioning. Lucy Chu, do you have a conscience? Ellie just had a miscarriage, and you said such heart-piercing words. I sent the nutritionist to Ellie's house as your apology to Ellie. Even though there was no fetus in my abdomen anymore, I still felt nauseous. How disgusting. I couldn't stay in this house for a moment longer. Leaving the signed divorce agreement on the table, I directly took my suitcase and left. James POV. I returned home 4 days later. Originally, handling this work would take a week, but thinking of Lucy Chu, I rushed back as soon as possible. The gift box in my hand contained a necklace for her. There was another one in my bag, reserved for Ellie, but due to my status, I couldn't be too close to Ellie, so I had to ask Lucy to pass it to her. Lucy, I'm back. The room was empty, not a single light on. There was a dark shadow on the sofa. I put down my luggage and walked over, full of exhaustion. What temper tantrum are you throwing now? After all, as a daughter brought back halfway, Lucy didn't have Ellie's dignified and elegant demeanor at all. She only knew how to throw petty tantrums and fuss over trivial matters. I had said long ago that treating Ellie well was only because of the friendship growing up together. Moreover, she had just lost a child, so taking care of her more was expected. Ellie was clearly her biological sister, yet she didn't feel sorry for her at all. Was she still blaming Ellie for getting lost when she was little? At that time, Ellie was frail and sickly, needing many servants to take care of her. In the chaos, Lucy, who was a few years younger than her, went unnoticed and got lost. The Chu family made a big fuss searching for the child. Almost the whole city knew the Chu family lost a child. Later, it gradually died down, and the child was never mentioned again. So much so that when I first saw Lucy Chu, I didn't recall this matter. That was after Ellie started dating my childhood friend. I was depressed for a while until I met Lucy Chu, who looked 70 like Ellie, in a coffee shop near the school. She had short hair back then. I wanted to keep her as a canary. As long as she wore a long straight black wig, her profile would look very much like Ellie. If I couldn't marry Ellie, looking at this face, I could get some comfort. Lucy Chu probably stayed at the bottom of society for too long. She had no manners at all. When I said I wanted to keep her, she splashed a cup of iced coffee right over. I still remember her raising her eyebrows high, flames seeming to churn in her eyes. She said, "Screw you, a little spicy pepper, but not my type." Our first meeting ended unhappily like this. Jameis POV. What happened later? How did we get to dating and marriage? It was because of Lucy Chu's foster parents. They dragged Lucy back to marry her off to save up a dowry for their son. Lucy resisted desperately. She smashed a vase on her foster father's head and even raised a knife against her foster parents. She said, "Today, either I stab you to death, or you kill me. Want to sell me to that fool? Dream on." That crazy look and determined death wish made my heart tremble. I took out 200,000 yuan, and that family finally left. After they left, she lost her strength and slumped on the ground, tears flowing uncontrollably. That fragile, pitiful expression was very much like Ellie. But then, Lucy's words shattered my fantasy. She wiped her tears and said to me with that savage attitude again, "Consider this 200,000 yuan a debt I owe you. Let's write an IOU." Later, she really paid me back the 200,000 yuan. It took 3 years. That year, Ellie graduated from college. Her hair was shoulder length, tied in a high ponytail, fluttering in the breeze, so lively and spirited, with touching gentleness in her eyes. The moment I saw her, I didn't think of Ellie at all. She said, "Hey, race the 200,000 yuan back to you." In a moment of heartbeat, I confessed to her and invited her to be my girlfriend. Not getting Ellie, being with Lucy seemed not bad either. Lucy and I spent a very sweet dating period. The only conflict was that she didn't want me to agree to her foster parents' blackmail. This money was just peanuts to me. Even though she repeatedly opposed it, I still gave it. Maybe there was some manipulative psychology I wasn't even aware of. As long as Lucy still owed this favor, even if my feelings for Ellie were exposed, she would forgive me, because I knew she loved me. Moreover, I was the best partner she could meet with her family background. She would never lose out. But I didn't expect Lucy and Ellie to be biological sisters. That eldest daughter of the Lin family was Lucy's roommate. At Miss Lin's birthday party, the Chu family recognized Lucy. My mind became active. If Lucy and Ellie were biological sisters, then I still had a chance to get close to Ellie in the future. No matter how good Lucy was, she couldn't compare to Ellie, whom I grew up with. I just didn't expect Lucy to have such a big temper. After marriage, knowing my intentions, she became increasingly cold. Although she suddenly started making soup for me, she stopped smiling. The memory ended. I walked over to pat Lucy on the shoulder, only to find it was a large teddy bear when I got close. "Lucy," I turned on the light, and the surroundings brightened up, but I still didn't see Lucy Chu's figure. The whole house was terrifyingly quiet, and on the coffee table in the living room, there was a stack of documents with the words, "Divorce Agreement." I only found out after getting married that he pursued me because I look like Ellie Chu. He pretended so well. Maybe the hormones from pregnancy were too terrible, or maybe the ginger tea Sarah handed over was too warm. I cried miserably. Sarah hugged me. "It's okay, cry it out. It will be better after crying." Sarah was the person in charge of the Australian project, my college roommate, and the eldest daughter of the Lin group. Her eyes were full of anger. "Those Chu family members, Fu family members, and their group of childhood friends are all bitches. Son of a bitch trash. May they be childless." Cough cough. "Sarah, did you not brush your teeth?" A man walked down the stairs. White shirt, suit pants, high nose bridge, eyes gentle as the warm sun in spring, temperament clean as snow on a mountain peak. "Sorry to disturb you." I was startled and quickly got up, regretting my impulsiveness breaking into someone else's home and disturbing the young couple. Lucy, this is my brother Ethan Lin. You should know him too. He participated in the same experimental project with you in college." The man had a refined and elegant temperament, but his words were not. "I guess she shouldn't remember. After all, she's already a wealthy wife. How would she know who I am?" Sarah was speechless. Their Lynn family counted as wealthy too, right? Where did her brother get this resentment? Why was it so big? I also remembered this toxic-tongued senior. He was a graduate student at the time, and I was just a sophomore helping in the lab thanks to my advisor's connection. Due to special circumstances at the time, we wore masks every time we met, so I wasn't very familiar with his face. I only remembered this senior had excellent research skills but spoke very rudely. Every time I saw him, he was either scolding someone or on the way to scold someone, so much so that seeing him now, I was still a bit scared. Hello, senior, bro, don't scare Lucy, she just had surgery. Ethan frowned. Surgery, then why run around? What illness? I lowered my eyes. Sarah turned to look at my expression, then quickly laughed it off. Oh, don't worry about it. Why does a big man like you care about a girl's illness? I had originally booked a hotel, but Sarah said hotels weren't safe and insisted Ethan bring back my luggage from the hotel. Don't blame my brother. He just has that trashy personality. No wonder he hasn't had a girlfriend for so many years. I knew why Ethan was toxic-tongued. My advisor said I had great ability and wanted me to continue my studies, but after graduation, I married James and helped him manage the company. James, worried Ellie would be unhappy, kicked me out again. He probably hated my love-struck brain. Thinking about it now, this was the wrongest decision I ever made, betting my life on a man's sincerity. The next night, we boarded the plane to Australia. How's your body? Can you hold on? Sarah touched my forehead, and Ethan casually threw me a blanket. Thank you, I nodded, wrapping the blanket tightly around my cold body. Why is Senior Lynn also going to Australia? Sarah revealed a mysterious smile. How would I know? Anyway, he finally got a vacation. Just treat it as a trip. Australia wasn't a particularly great place, at least in my opinion. Not as good as home, but there were no annoying people here, so my spirits improved a lot. I planned to find a house to settle down first. Sarah held on to my luggage tightly. You're not allowed to leave. If you leave, I won't have anyone to talk to. Isn't it good for us to be roommates again? Do you dislike me? I didn't. Then stay. Our house is huge. Can it not fit you? I was helpless. Sarah, I've troubled you too much. What trouble? You are my employee. You have to listen to me. Ethan also passed by. Living too far affects work efficiency. Right. Just live here. My brother is practicing cooking recently. I can't be the only one gaining weight. I settled in the Lynn family's mansion, catching a ride with Sarah to the company every day. I rarely encountered Ethan usually, which made me relax a lot. However, every mealtime, the Chinese food he made would appear on time. One portion for me and one for Sarah. Her food was heavily seasoned, while mine was nutritious and light, like confinement meals. The deficit in my body caused by the miscarriage was gradually replenished, and my complexion became better and better. In the third month at the company, a white boy confessed to me. Sorry, I'm already married, I told him in English. The white boy with golden hair and light freckles on his nose smiled as brightly as sunshine. It's okay, I don't care. I just want to know your true thoughts. We can have a wonderful relationship first. Foreigners were really open. I didn't know how to answer. Sarah hid behind the company's glass door, smiling like an auntie, and taking pictures with her phone. But the next day, that white boy didn't appear. Instead, Ethan appeared, personally carrying lunch boxes, one portion placed in front of Sarah, one handed to me. Thank you, Senior Lynn. Is our relationship only senior and junior? His gaze was deep, looking down at me. Me, what else? Mr. Lynn. I was still an employee of the Lynn Group. Calling him senior was indeed not polite. Ha 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 ha. Sarah clutched her stomach, laughing like the demon child Neza. I keenly noticed the veins on Ethan's forehead throbbing. He leisurely walked over and took away the lunch box in front of Sarah. Bro, my lunch. Bro, give me a bite. Otherwise, I'll steal Lucy's food. Days in Australia passed too quickly. I almost forgot the unhappiness back home, until a scruffy person appeared outside the company. It was James. He came later than I imagined. Lucy, I finally found you. He was about to pounce on me as soon as he saw me, but was blocked by Ethan. Ethan was preparing to return to the country in a few days. Today was the last day of meal delivery. Unexpectedly, he ran into James so coincidentally. It's you. It's your doing. So you abducted my wife. James raised his fist to hit, but Ethan was faster, punching him directly in the face. The two started fighting hand to hand. Stop. Don't fight. I hurried over to pull them apart, but Sarah popped out from somewhere and dragged me into the company. Don't mind them. Their personal grudge. No, they clearly are because. Oh well. None of your business. Stop slacking off. I'm your boss now. When I saw James again, he was applying medicine in the hospital with a bruised face. He eagerly grabbed my hand. Lucy, come home with me. Ethan's gaze shot over like a knife. I was expressionless. The labor contract signed with the Lynn Group has a penalty of $200 million. Will you pay it? Ethan withdrew his gaze, just looking down and kneading his dislocated wrist, looking a bit pitiful. How is that possible? James just took this as a joke. Lucy, I saw the divorce agreement you left on the table. I know I sometimes didn't do well enough and wronged you. Come back with me. Let's live a good life. Okay, didn't do well enough. Did you eat the fact that you are suspected of marriage fraud? Ethan's lips curled into a mocking arc, the disgust in his eyes hard to conceal. What nonsense are you talking about? James stood up abruptly, raising his fist to swing at Ethan again. Strangely, Ethan didn't make a blocking move, just sat there letting James swing his fist at him. I blocked in front of Ethan, looking directly at my former husband. James, stop being unreasonable. I want a divorce. Please sign the divorce agreement. I won't sign. We were doing fine. Why divorce? Is it because of this mistress? James pointed at Ethan and questioned. Slap. I pushed his hand down and finally couldn't help slapping him. Treating me as Ellie Chu's substitute is called doing fine. Watching me being troubled by your parents while you went to celebrate Ellie's birthday is called doing fine. Making me abort the child to accompany Ellie in her sadness is called doing fine. I felt chest pain from anger thinking of these past events, so I backhanded James another slap. James, I don't ask you to apologize to me. I just hope you stop dragging me to be Ellie Chu's lapdog. Sign the divorce agreement. We owe each other nothing, just because I treat Ellie well. James stroked the burning sensation on his face, his voice strained. Just for this matter, you want to divorce me, even flying to Australia without telling anyone. Do you know I've been looking for you? Even called the police for you. So you looked for half a year. I looked at him coldly, eyes mocking. I didn't hide any tracks when I left. He only needed to check my travel records slightly to know I came to Australia. His eyes dodged, turning his head away. Of course, he wasn't in a hurry to find you. He got together with your biological sister. Ethan took out a stack of photos from somewhere. The intimate interactions between Ellie and James were clearly captured, even including bed photos, more detailed than what the private investigator I hired took. The previous divorce agreement split assets 50-50, now I want 70-30, otherwise, I'll post these photos online. James looked at me in shock. Lucy Chu, how can you be so cruel? You should have known long ago. Didn't you see me using a knife on my foster parents? One reason I came to Australia was to get away from James. The second was because Yaozu from my foster parents' family was deliberately guided to gambling addiction and lost all the money they extorted from me. To avoid my foster parents coming to ask for money again, I followed Sarah to Australia. After all, if they couldn't get money from me, Yaozu would have the motive to kill his parents for insurance fraud. Right. News came from home last month that Yaozu was already in prison. Happy ending for everyone. Crawling out of such a muddy family. I was never some innocent, kind little white flower. The only wrong thing I did was truly falling in love with James because of those bucket helps. Until waking up from the bloody lesson. James looked terrified. He stepped back 2 steps but said firmly, Lucy, I won't agree to divorce you. I was expressionless, my tone cold and stern. Then sue for divorce. I have plenty of time to waste with you. I'll post all the dirt I have online. Guess how long your family company can last. He shook his head in fear, suddenly thumping to his knees before me. Lucy, don't divorce me. Okay, I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I know you have resentment in your heart for aborting the child. I'm sorry. I closed my eyes, looking as if I couldn't bear it. Ethan's nervous gaze fell on me. Seeing a chance, James immediately started crying bitterly, pulling my pant leg while crying. Lucy, we can have children again. I received the paternity test you sent me. You still want to reconcile with me, right? I won't have any interaction with Ellie anymore. Let's live well this time. Ha 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 ha. I finally couldn't hold back, laughing until tears came out. James, haven't you found the medical report yet? I had put the medical report in his file cabinet long ago. It seemed he hadn't noticed until now. What? You have weak sperm. I pulled out my pant leg, smiling and looking down carefully to admire James' disbelief. I sent you the paternity test just to prove the child was yours. But you have weak sperm. You demanded this child be aborted. Guess if you can ever father a child again. What? How is this possible? How is this possible? James was half crazed by this news, finally dragged out by bodyguards. The room quieted down. Ethan looked at me with burning eyes. making me a bit uncomfortable. He went too far. I originally wanted to part on good terms. Ethan's eyes were overflowing with smiles. I know. That was cool. It was like this the first time I saw you too. Me. The first time I saw Ethan was in the lab. At that time, he was scolding two seniors who made operational errors, scaring me into silence for a long time. Warmth gentle as spring rain rippled in Ethan's eyes. Not in college. You were still in high school. In that alley. You broke a boy's leg. Ethan's words took me back to that evening after high school. The boy whose leg was broken was Yaozu. He didn't know whose stupid words he listened to, actually trying to trip me up and bully me during my busiest time in senior year. Schoolwork was heavy, and I didn't have time for more part-time jobs, so naturally, I had no money and couldn't even eat enough. Resentment was high. As a result, Yaozu hit the muzzle at this time. I couldn't bear it anymore, so I had people openly and secretly instigate Yaozu to steal alcohol. For this, I did homework for a classmate for a week. That night, Yaozu drank alcohol and was dead drunk. I tied him up, blindfolded him, and broke his legs with a brick. He woke up from pain halfway, screaming like a pig being slaughtered, but no one heard. Only a youth with a jade-like temperament stood at the entrance of the alley, watching me smash Yaozu's legs into a bloody mess with a brick with gentle eyes. He chuckled lightly. Don't use a brick. Use an iron rod. It breaks in one go. I dared not speak, afraid Yaozu would hear my voice and complain to my foster parents, so I had to mouth words and gesture. Me. Couldn't find an iron rod, he said. Wait. I didn't wait for him, continuing to lower my head and smash fiercely. 5 minutes later, he came back with an iron rod as thick as a wrist. I asked him, where did you get it? I didn't want to implicate others. What if my foster parents used the iron rod as evidence to extort someone? I just beat up a group of punks robbing students. They left it. That works. I nodded, holding the iron rod with both hands. I smashed twice. Yaozu, who had just passed out from pain, woke up again, screams deafening. I mouthed, you are not allowed to expose me, otherwise I'll break your legs again. I tried hard to look fierce. That youth just smiled. Later, he never appeared again. I even once thought it was my hallucination. However, on the second day of this incident, the school suddenly issued a scholarship to me. There was no publicized ceremony. The homeroom teacher just asked me to bring my school bag to the office, then stuffed that stack of cash into my school bag, telling me it was a scholarship and to prepare for the exam with peace of mind. This money wasn't known by my foster parents. I could finally eat enough. So that person was you. My heart was filled with mixed feelings. Later, when I went back to visit the homeroom teacher, he told me that money was given to me by a youth specifically. That money let me live a good life for a while. Even during the college entrance examination, I moved to a hotel to avoid my foster parents' harassment. Using that money, thank you. I looked directly at Ethan, thanking him solemnly. Ethan also became serious. Lucy Chu, I told you this hoping you'd change your view of me. I'm not a rigid and boring old pedant. He pursed his lips, suddenly becoming awkward. As for secretly investigating you and your ex-husband, I'm sorry. I just wanted to help you. Thank you for this too. I don't mind. I smiled. If a private investigator took these photos, they would definitely ask me for more money. Getting this powerful evidence for free, how could I care where it came from? And Ethan hesitated but decided to say everything. I reported the Chu family for tax evasion. My smile became brilliant. I also sent Ellie's promiscuous activities to her husband. She played too wildly and got pregnant like that. Afraid the child would be born with dark skin, she had an abortion claiming the child was deformed. Ellie's husband naturally was furious knowing this and started looking for women outside, so she went to James seeking warmth. Sarah interrupted while cracking sunflower seeds. Exactly. Then got photographed by your brother. Ethan responded faintly, the scent of cedar lingering at the tip of my nose. I suddenly realized we were too close and wanted to step back, but my hand was held by Ethan. With weak sperm, IVF might still produce a child. If you want to completely destroy James, maybe I can help. No need, he definitely won't have children, I said with certainty, confident. Diethylstilbestrol, a semisynthetic estrogen, causes reproductive dysfunction. Since knowing Ellie was Jameis White Moonlight, I kept making soup for him. The recipe was learned from a shop where I worked part-time before. I also took James to eat there. The owner's husband ran away, because their daughter was autistic. She hated men who abandoned their wives and children. I promised to find the best treatment for the little girl. The requirement was, when James came to eat, add this drug to his food. James was used to the soup I made. Due to his trashy nature, he would definitely go to that shop to reminisce. Just like he couldn't let go of Ellie. As I expected, the owner said James came almost every day, even if he was too busy to come. He would call for takeout. He would never have his own child in this life. Under threat, James divorced me. He would still go to that shop to reminisce about the happy times before. The owner still added ingredients to the soup, and I also promised to take care of the little girl for life. In 2 years, Sarah managed the Australian branch very well. Lynn's parents finally agreed she could do what she wanted. She returned to the country and dragged me back too. The company was taken over by others. I indeed wanted to return. After Ethan left Australia, I could only maintain vital signs on bland food. Returning to the homeland, I felt the dust settle. Ha 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 ha. Lynn Hansan, am finally back. I want to eat hot pot. Bro, you and Lucy go home first. Sarah pushed me into Ethan's arms. The tip of my nose touched Ethan's chest. My heartbeat accelerated for a moment, and I took 2 steps back. What hot pot? Go home. Dinner is ready. Luggage handed to the driver. Ethan grabbed Sarah's collar with one hand and held my sleeve with the other, leading us out. Suddenly, he paused, turning his gaze to me. I was looking down at my phone at this time, sensing something wrong. I looked up, only to see 2 people I had long forgotten, my biological parents. These 2 had red eyes, holding flowers, looking at me with concern, seeming to express longing and guilt. However, I could still see other intentions in their glances at Ethan from time to time. Disgust arose spontaneously. I pulled my sleeve out. Ethan also looked at this couple with hostility. Lucy, once facing my biological parents' bias, I just wanted them to regret it, and thought of using vicious words to hurt them. But when they really stood before me in embarrassment, I found I had already let go. Did you hold your grandson? Is he black or white? The 2 looked haggard, mute and afraid to speak. No way, no way. Ellie hasn't chosen a skin she likes yet. Driving away the Chu couple, sitting in the Lynn family car, only Sarah was chattering. Ethan sat beside me, slowly moving his fingers to pinch my sleeve, then observing my reaction, pushing his luck. Fingers touched my skin, then palm, then interlocking fingers. I didn't refuse. Actually, deep down, I still wanted to have a child. Although I didn't know what Ethan would become in the future, that wasn't important. Ethan had good family background and looks. Intelligence and character were not bad either. He was very suitable to be my child's father. He could provide all the resources my child needed. As for the rest, let nature take its course. I would never lack the courage to start over again.